Today on Monkey Life. It's all hands on deck as Gordon's orangs swap houses with Sally's chimps.
Coming down.
Okay, you got that bit wrong.
A heart-stopping moment for the team when Cherri tests out the high hose with her twins in tow.
All we can do is hope and keep our fingers crossed.
Come on then, guys!
And Sam and Sasak reap the benefits from their new enclosure. Monkey World in Dorset, nestled deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescues and rehabilitates abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Smells a bit macaque in there, but yeah, we're good.
The park provides a home for more than 240 monkeys and apes, allowing them to live out their lives in safety and peace. It's an early start for the team, who have a big day ahead. There's going to be a major house move. Sally's group of chimps are going to be swapping with Gordon's orangs.
One crate, one form of transport, and just do a shuttle service. Yeah.
It's going to be logistically challenging, but the staff have decided it's necessary, because they feel Gordon isn't doing particularly well living next door to the park's other dominant male orangutan, Tuan. They can see each other over the fence that divides them, and Gordon is constantly grumpy. In the wild, they wouldn't live in such close proximity. Sally's chimp enclosure is at the other side of the park, so well away from any other orangs. But moving 9 apes is no mean feat and requires a lot of planning.
We've split it up in half because it might take a while. And this morning we're aiming to shift 5 chimpanzees in Sally's group. Jeremy's got everybody inside overnight, which is good. And he's going down to give them a pre-medication that will make them drowsy and dopey, hopefully.
Each of the chimps will be given an anaesthetic to allow the team to move them safely and quickly.
Main thing is 1 person at a time so that John can travel with them to make sure that there aren't any problems with their breathing, or indeed when we reverse them out of the anaesthetic that they actually come to and are starting to sit up before we head off and get the next individual. So we'll be cutting it close.
In situations like these, it's easier for the primate care staff to inject the animals rather than the veterinary team.
If they see me, they will assume something is up and then get a bit more wound up and more difficult to hand inject and so on. So it's not important. It's important I'm not there, actually.
We'll put Bud in first. Yeah.
Adult female Lulu is the first to be moved.
We just got Lulu down, anaesthetized into the box in a good recovery position. She's breathing well. And we're just about to move her down to the orangutan house. So all good, really good first one.
John isn't taking any chances. He'll stay with each of the 5 chimps throughout the journey. But Sally and her gang won't see their new home until tomorrow. They'll be spending the night in a holding area, as there won't be time to move Gordon's group today as well.
Oh, good. Fantastic.
Once Lulu has come round from the anaesthetic, it's time to get Sally. Jeremy has a special relationship with these 5 chimps and won't leave them until they're safely awake. Sally is reassured to see him. He's known her for more than 20 years.
Just got a radio call from Kate, and that's 3 for 3. Brian's just taken his injection of the anaesthetic willingly, so really good news.
While Brian is asleep, the team take the opportunity to check his teeth. This is the first time Brian has been under anaesthetic since he arrived at the park from Mexico in 2006. He was rescued after being used as a beach photographer's prop. But during that time, most of his junior teeth were knocked out.
If you look at his teeth now and didn't know that history, you would have said, that's a good mouth. So he's over those dental issues. Those teeth look good.
That's my boy, Mr. Brian.
Hi.
The two youngest chimps have been left until last. Mischievous Rodders doesn't know what to make of his new surroundings when he wakes up.
Hello, young man.
Coming down. Okay, you got that bit wrong.
And 9-year-old Ash proves to be quite a handful, but she does like her food.
God, she is hefty. She might be heavier than Brian, eh?
The final journey of the day. The team take the opportunity to weigh Ash.
Yeah, told you. -11 for the cargo net.
So, 61 kilos. That's heavier than any of the others in Sally's group.
Absolutely fantastic. That's the first half of the big 8 move done. That's Sally's lot decanted into the sort of new area, and tomorrow morning it's a big day with moving Gordon's group of orangutans, so halfway there.
The chimps are still a bit dazed from the anesthetic, but by the time they get to see their new playroom tomorrow, they'll be raring to go. It's been an eventful time for another group of chimps too. Hananya's gang have been stuck inside for 3 days since Cherri gave birth to her twins because the staff wanted to monitor their progress. But the group are getting restless.
It's a nervous time because we need to see what Cherri's going to do. But we're going to give them at least the morning outside, see what happens, see if she chooses to go out, see how she's moving around.
The chimps don't hang around. As soon as the slide to the outside is open, they make a run for it, led by low-ranker Arthur, Jess, and second-in-command, Tico. Cherri hangs back with her babies, but once the coast is clear, she ventures outside, with her self-appointed bodyguard Simon bringing up the rear. And Arthur coming back to give her moral support. Arthur chases Trudy away so that Cherri can eat her breakfast in peace. And wherever Cherri goes, the twins go too, and that includes the climbing frame. Although Arthur and Simon have always got her back. And front. The two chimps have been overly attentive towards Cherri ever since the newborns arrived.
I think Cherri obviously has her favoured spots in terms of the outside enclosure, and so I think at the moment she's just really testing and seeing where she can go and what is possible with the twins on board. I mean, we're seeing that she's tending to shelter the twins with one arm and use the other arm to climb.
Tootie is gathering wood wool to make herself a big cosy nest. But the advantage of being a dominant female with babies in tow is that you can pull rank. And Cherri does just that, leaving Tootie to tend to her every need.
She needs to have periods of inactivity so that the twins can feed. And if it's mild, we're happy if she chooses to do that outside. And she's obviously capitalising on that dominant status to steal a nest when it takes her fancy.
Cherri has always loved joining the others on the high hoses, and she doesn't see having the twins in tow as a handicap. But it's an anxious time for the team. One wrong move and there could be a tragedy. Cherri doesn't have the best track record when it comes to rearing babies.
We're just going to have to take each day as it comes and pray that she doesn't start setting those infants down. She's a lot older, she's maturer, and so is the group. And the way that the group's behaving is different as well, so all we can do is hope and keep our fingers crossed that she will continue to care for the infants as she has in the last couple of days.
Coming up, a worrying time for the team when Gordon struggles to come round from the anaesthetic.
Come on, Gordon.
And orangutan Tuan puts Brian in his place when he tries to show who's boss through the Great Divide. It's day 2 of the big house swap. Sally, Lulu, Brian, Ash and Rodders are waiting to get into their new residence. But they can't move in until Gordon and his gang have moved out. Like yesterday, the animals are all going to be anaesthetised one by one. And wildlife vet John Lewis is overseeing the whole operation. They're going to start with the big man himself. But sedating large animals isn't easy, and John knows Gordon could prove problematic.
With all the animals we're moving, the potential for problems is greater with him. I'm not saying you won't have a problem-free, that you won't get problems with other anaesthetics, but the potential is greater with him. So once having done him, we can move on to what should be the more straightforward anaesthetics. He's not out yet.
Gordon does cooperate, but his anaesthetic takes a while to work. Nosy neighbour Mojo of The Bachelors tries to find out what's going on. It takes a while, but eventually Gordon does fall asleep. And then it's all systems go.
Keeping the head up, keeping the head up.
It's on its way.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Once again, John will stick with Gordon all the way to monitor his breathing.
Somebody got a gas kit? It was
Yeah,
there.
I've got it right here.
Not least of our problems.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's go slowly.
Slow, slow.
Yeah.
It's a tense time for the team.
We stop on this corner. Right here. Yeah, just take a break there. Stop. Stop. It's only allowing us to check him. Good. We're all good.
You ready for the scales? Yep, let's go. Head up at all times.
Gordon's head needs to be kept up to keep his airway clear. This is particularly tricky in male orangs because of their large throat sacs.
Okay, there's going to be a moment of flat, John.
Yeah, okay, do it quickly. 107.
Allowing for the cargo net, that makes Gordon 97 kilos. He's officially the heaviest primate in the entire park. Once he's safely inside Sally's old house, he's given a drug to reverse the anaesthetic and bring him round.
His breathing's really rapid.
Yeah, I've reversed him.
But Gordon is taking a long time to wake up.
Come on, Gordon. Good boy.
Anaesthetics can be dangerous, and the team are becoming anxious. To their relief, Gordon starts to stir.
The anaesthetic I chose for him is different to that which we used on others to make certain that it supports the breathing more, whereas what we use later on is less of a respiratory stimulant. So the fact that he is now up is perfect.
So, with Gordon settled, they go back to collect his mum, Amy, who, although a female, is also on the heavy side. Gordon is delighted to see her.
The only person who's got any controlling influence over Gordon is his mum. And if Amy tells him to go and sit in the corner because he's been a naughty boy, he will just do that. It really is, it's just like, it really is that extreme.
So, 2 down, 2 to go. But Xiaolan's move hits problems.
Yeah.
Quick. Quickly.
Quickly.
The primate care staff have managed to inject her by hand, but she's climbed up the tunnel and is very drowsy. They need to get her out before she falls, but it's tricky.
If I release this foot, she'll probably drop.
Oh, careful, Jeremy. Her mouth's right on your back. Does look like...
You all right? Can I let go?
Yeah, good job.
Just as they get her loaded, they hit another problem.
We're on, Lewis.
Xiaolan starts to stir.
Where's the gas? Can I have the gas, Debbie, please?
John didn't want to give her a lot of sedation, but he's having to top her up with gas and air to keep her under.
Xiaolan went very smoothly, actually, although she wasn't terribly deeply anaesthetised at the beginning. But so that's 3 now, and they're all up and conscious, so we're going to get the 4th.
The last orang to be moved is 19-year-old Lucky, who fortunately is plain sailing. John is pleased with the way the team has pulled together.
Everybody was organised, and if there are lots of jobs to do on a move, and if you can coordinate them, and if everybody knows what they're doing in advance, which clearly they do, it makes the whole thing quicker and more smooth. And added to which, the most important thing was the ability of that primate care staff to hand inject every single animal we moved in the last 2 days. That makes the job so much easier, so much less stressful for animals and people, and quicker.
Tomorrow, the orangs will get a chance to see their new outdoor enclosure, but for now, Lucky just wants to be left in peace. House swaps don't happen very often, but recently there has been another one. Golden-cheeked gibbons Kim and Tien have just been paired up and needed an enclosure of their own, so moved into the Siamang enclosure. Sam and Sasak, meanwhile, who were living there, have moved in next door to the rest of Peanut's family. Sam's been a bit grumpy since the move, as he doesn't like change, and until now they've been kept inside. But today, they're going to be allowed out into their new tree-filled enclosure for the first time.
We're just having a final check round, make sure everything's safe, there's no damage overnight, the fence is all nice and secure, and that none of the hosing or ropes that we've just put up have actually fallen down or anything like that. Make sure it's all nice and safe for them.
The team have tried to make sure the enclosure is as inviting as possible for the 2 gibbons.
Come on then, guys! Come on!
Sam comes out, but is apprehensive. However, his mate Sasak has no hesitation. She's a confident gibbon and seems keen to explore their new playground. Sam decides to follow Sasak's lead, but is still treading carefully. He's not sure what to make of it all. There's no stopping Sasak, who's immediately made herself at home. Sam decides to try a different approach on the hoses, while Sasak looks on with admiration. Siamangs are the largest and loudest of all gibbons. In the wild, they live in the treetops of the Malaysian and Indonesian rainforests and are incredible acrobats. Sam and Sasak have been quick to notice a huge advantage of this enclosure over their last one. It's full of edible leaves, from beech, oak and birch trees, so they can forage to their heart's content. Their last enclosure had lots of pine trees, which they couldn't eat from.
Sam is certainly looking a lot happier than he has been in the last few days. And every now and then they're going over to each other and just reassuring each other that that bond's still there, and then going off and exploring the rest of the enclosure. So it's really fantastic, exactly what we wanted, and yeah, we're really pleased with that.
There's a hive of activity at Gordon's old orang house as final preparations are made for Sally and her gang. The team are hoping the chimps will like their new home.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
They've been kept in a holding area overnight. A tunnel will lead them to their new house.
Hello, Sal. It's Saucy Sal. I thought you'd be first. Oh, Bri. Hello, man.
Brian follows Sally and is trying to put on a bit of a display to show he's the man about the house.
Hello, Ash. Where's Lou?
Ash has spotted their new neighbours, the all-male bachelors are just as curious about them. Young Rodders and Lulu bring up the tail end. Brian decides to show who's boss. But next door, orangutan Tuan is having none of it. Rodders has spotted the neighbours now. Butch and his merry men seem bemused to have a new group of chimps nearby. Sally, wise as ever, is taking it all in her stride.
This is a great sign that it seems they've just come through here. They seem really calm and enjoying looking around and having much more of a perspective, I guess, than they had at the old house. So, yeah, I'm really pleased.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
The chimps seem transfixed with their new surroundings. But, interesting though it all is, they can't stay in the tunnel all day, so the team try to coax them through into the house.
Who's that? What's that, Brian?
Gordon's orangs were much more sedate than this rowdy bunch, who seem determined to test out the house to see if it really is chimp-proof. Finally, they start to calm down. It looks like their new house has got the seal of approval. Next time on Monkey Life. A mixed welcome for Sally's chimps when they meet their new neighbours.
Everybody's going to have to get used to the fact that there's another big male around.
And ruffed lemur Blue shows the ringtails who's boss.